looking at 25 1-cent coins, pennies, that have sold this year in 2022 for a lot more than their face value. So welcome back to Couch Collectibles. Hope you guys are having an awesome day as always. We're going to start with Indian head pennies and go all the way up to some modern pennies. So as always, let's just hop into this one. Alright, starting off first here with an 1894 over the 9-4. So it is a RPD, which means a repunched date. Here's an example of what that looks like on the 1894 Indian head penny. Now this coin is graded at a 4, so it's not in very good condition. You know, had this coin been in a very high grade, very good condition, this coin would have sold for a lot more money. Even in this condition, the coin still sold for $55 at auction. Now here's another Indian head penny from 1903. Now this coin here has a mint error as well. It has a lamination here on the obverse of the coin. You can look for these on all kinds of different coins, not just Indian head cents. Now you can see that there, of course, on the right side of the coin. Again, a lower graded example of the Indian head cent, VG8. The coin grading scale goes up to 70. 70 is the best you can get. This coin still sold for $55 as well. Now we're getting into some Lincoln wheat cents here. Now this penny here is from 1913. It is the S mint mark, and it does have obverse laminations here, planchet laminations here, of course, on the front of the coin, the obverse of the coin, which is very visible there. A lot different than the lamination that we looked at on the Indian head cent. But this coin did sell for $43 at auction, and it's not in very good condition at all. Alright, next up is a 1917 S mint mark Lincoln wheat penny here. Now this coin here has a die break. It is a little bit higher grade, of course, than the last coins. It's graded at an EF45 as opposed to like a 15 or an 8. So we're getting higher here as we go. And that die break is here on the rim of the coin on the reverse by the wheat stock. Now again, you can look for these die breaks. They are also referred to as cuds. You can look for these on modern coins, on all kinds of different coins, not just wheat pennies. This coin in this condition still sold for $75. Not too bad. Now here's a 1921 S mint mark that has the laminations here on the reverse of the coin. Now it didn't sell for a fortune. The coin only sold for $30. It is graded at a VF30, so again, not a high mint state grade. You know, if you're grading something like this, you're not going to make a fortune on it, but if you want to keep it for your personal collection, you know, I'm all for grading for the personal collection. Now here's the 1928 S mint mark that was struck 30% off center. This coin here graded at an AU55 by Annex, and this penny ended up selling for $240. Pretty self-explanatory there. You can look for off centers on all kinds of different coins. Some can be 90% off center, some can be, you know, 5% off center. So, you know, it all depends on the coin that is off center, the date, the condition, all those things will affect the value. Now here's the 1944 wheat pennies. So this is the year after the steel cent when they went back to producing or minting these coins in copper. Now this coin was struck on a split blank planchet. Here's the result of that, of course. This coin graded at a VF20 ended up selling for $41 at auction. Here's a 1949 Lincoln cent. Now we got our first mint state coin here, graded at a mint state 64. Was struck through grease. You can see that here on the obverse of the coin and the reverse of the coin. This coin graded by Annex ended up selling for $81 at auction. Here's a 1952 D mint mark. Now this coin is at an AU53 and it was split after the strike. It only weighs 1.66 grams. It does not have a reverse design as a result of the mint error. Of course, these coins from 1952 would weigh 3.1 grams or in that range depending on how much wear the coin has from circulation. But this coin only weighs 1.6 grams because of that mint error, and this coin sold for $32 at auction. Here's another off-center coin, but this is taking place on the 1956 wheat penny. Now this coin here ended up selling for $53 at auction. It is graded at a mint state 60, and unfortunately the coin has been cleaned. So do not clean your coins. That will take away from the value of them. You know, had it not been cleaned, you know, you could have got a little bit more for that coin. Now here's a 1961 D mint mark. It looks, you know, like a ordinary, regular 1961 Lincoln cent. However, it has a D over a horizontal D mint mark. So here's an example of what that looks like. You have a horizontal D underneath the other D mint mark that is correct and vertical. The coin is graded by Annex at a mint state 66 red brown. And this coin here ended up selling for $61 at auction. You know, had this coin been at a mint state 68 red, it would change the value tremendously, you know, from a red brown to a red and 2 grades higher. So keep that in mind. Grade population is extremely important. Here's a 1965 Lincoln cent that has a counter brockage. Now, this coin only graded at an AU 50, not in the best shape, but it is a very cool looking mint error, and the coin ended up selling for $33. Now here's a 1974 S mint mark. Now this coin here has a die adjustment strike where the obverse has been struck through. So pretty, you know, noticeable type of mint error, of course, here. 1974. It does not have a grade. It's just authenticated as a mint error, and the coin still sold for over $120. Now here's a pretty obvious type of mint error. It is the 1975 D mint mark Lincoln cent. It is graded by PCGS at a mint state 63 brown. The coin has been double struck, and the second strike is 75% off center. Got that PCGS shield there on the coin holder. This coin ended up selling for $139. Here's a 1977 Lincoln cent. We looked at a die break earlier in this video, but here's a die break on the obverse of the coin. It's going through the lettering there of the coin, "In God We Trust." It's a nice, you know, it's a nice little cut. It's a good chunk of little extra metal there on the rim of the coin. This coin ended up selling for $690 at auction. So always look for those. You know, it depends on, again, the date, the grade of the coin, you know, how often are cuds found on the 1977. You know, it might be very common on, you know, a 1985 or something. You know, it just all depends on, you know, how many of these exist, you know, how large they are, what the market is at the time in which you sell it, and things like that. Now here is a 1982 Lincoln cent. Now we have a whole video, we have multiple videos on the 1982 Lincoln cent, so feel free to just type in 1982 penny couch collectibles here on YouTube, and you'll find all those videos explaining small date versus large date and things like that and what you should look for. Now this is the small date 1982 where we have the curve in the 2, and it has been improperly plated. It is graded at a mint state 64, and the coin sold for around $35 at auction. Not too bad for a 1982 penny. Here's a 1987 penny with a much larger die break, and I was kind of surprised by the price of this coin. It only sold for around $100 at auction, graded at a mint state 62 red. But keep in mind, the other coin that we looked at was graded by PCGS, and it was on the 1977 penny. This is on the 1987 penny. So, $100 for that coin. Now here's a 1998 Lincoln cent that has been broad struck. It also has an obverse brockage as well. Pretty obvious type of mint error, of course. You don't need a microscope to look for anything like this. This coin graded by NGC at a mint state 65 red ended up selling for around $100 at auction as well. Here's another coin graded by NGC. It's the 1998 Lincoln penny that has been broad struck. Of course, you'll see that around the rim of the coin. Graded at a mint state 66 red, this coin sold for $84 at auction. Now here's another example of a broad strike, but this is on the 1999 penny, and it's graded at a mint state 66 red as well. This coin sold for $288 at auction. Sticking with the 1999 penny, this coin here has been double struck, and it does have an indent here on the obverse as well. This coin graded at a mint state 65 red by NGC sold for $85. Here's a 2001 Lincoln cent that was struck off center, another off center here. Graded at a mint state 66 red, this coin sold for $51 at auction. So, you know, you're not really making much money on that after you pay to have it graded through NGC. Just keep that in mind. Now here's the 2003 Lincoln cent that has a tilted partial collar, which you'll see around the rim of the coin there. So again, a modern coin here, 2003, sold for $37, graded at a mint state 64 red by Annex. Here is a no-dated Lincoln cent with that die break covering up the date there. So you'll see that cud there. graded at a mint state 63 red brown. This coin sold for $75. Here's another card that is completely covering up the date. This coin graded at a mint state 64 ended up selling for $105. And of course, on the reverse of the coin, you'll see it faded out on the opposite side of where that extra metal is on the obverse of the coin. So feel free to check out my other coin videos here on the channel. We are uploading every single day just about. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle. Feel free to check out those videos to the left of me. And until tomorrow, I'll see you guys in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.